So, for the first time in 30 years, men are beginning to win. For the past 30 years, the system, feminists, society at large had just one goal: make men weak. They do this by food, attacking our food, our testosterone, making us feel guilty for being men. But now, there's this movement where men are beginning to take back control of their lives, take back control of the system, take back control of a way that makes them win as men. But it's something else. These men are in the minority, but guess what? They're increasing. The movement is getting better. Day by day, I'm talking to more men who are now beginning to take their life serious. Men who are beginning to stop simping. Men who are beginning to say, you know what? It doesn't make any sense for me to be the one carrying all the burden in my relationships, but yet I should see her as an equal, because all that is complete BS, propaganda. So let's talk about different ways that men are winning. But before then, if you look around you, right, most men are still trapped. That's why I'm making this video, right? Because most men are still trapped. Even though I say men are winning, what we're seeing right now is a complete disaster where a handful of men are getting all of the benefits in this life, while the 90% of men are the people that we need to still reach. Before, it was like what? It was basically almost all men that were attacked. But now, the men are beginning to increase. From 10, we can now stretch to 15, 20%. So see this thing more as a movement to wake men up. So if you look around you, see how men are addicted to endless scrolling, how men are simping, how most men, keyword here is most men, they're out there chasing pleasure, validation from women, chasing women. But now I'm grateful now that men are beginning to wake up to realize that no, all that shit is a distraction. So how are they doing this? The system told everyone that masculinity is a problem. Masculinity is toxic. Guess what? Most men believed it. Most men would suppress their masculinity. The 10% men, no, they doubled down on the masculinity. They began to own their masculinity in a very, very unapologetic way. They created systems to make men lonely, to make men isolated. But now these days, we have communities popping up every single day on different platforms, trying to get men together, to build a brotherhood. Guess what's going on? Men, these 10% men are feeling less lonely. They're being surrounded by what? A brotherhood. People who keep them focused on their goals, their mission. Men these days, they built the school system to make us slaves to the job system, to make us slaves to the industries. But guess what happened? The 10% men are going their own way. They're realizing that, no, I don't need to go to school so I can end up in a shitty job for 40 years. No, I don't have to do that. Instead, I can build skills online. I can go to YouTube, look for a particular skill that makes money. I begin to improve on my life from there, begin to improve on my financial skills from there. Society damaged women so that marriage becomes a problem. So a lot of women walk into relationships with the expectation that the man does every single thing and they have nothing to offer. That they are basically supposed to offer nothing. Where women now claim, quote unquote, they are the table. Full-grown human beings claiming that they are the table. But instead, the 10% men are beginning to realize that, oh, they are damaged women quite all right. On the other hand, there are women who understand the value of a family system. There are still women out there. They're not so much, I'm not going to lie. They've empowered women to do a lot of BS, right? Even though some women are beginning to realize that the dating scene is not what it's supposed to be. What do they call them? Pick-me's. They try to insult them, they try to bash them. But the 10% men, they think of how to navigate the dating market. They think about how to attract quality women. Because again, it is quality women. You don't expect to get quality women that easily. You have to build yourself as a man. You can see how all these things are coming together. But still, we need to increase that number. That's why I'll tell you that the best thing you can do, right, is to share this video with a man who you know find it helpful. And by the way, speaking of a brotherhood, right, if you click the link in the description of this video, you will find a link to my free WhatsApp community of like-minded men on this path of self-improvement. Right? The system created porn and instant gratification. What do most men do? Scroll social media every day, they're hooked on porn, they simp for women. No. The 10% men, they say, fuck that shit. They have goals, they have ambitions. They know that all these things are a big distraction. When it comes to health, the system that manages our food, right? They build systems, food that addict us, that drive our dopamine health, they drive our dopamine levels insane. But this winners, this 10% men, they come to realize that no, I won't buy this whole big pharma BS. I'll stop eating trashy food. Stop putting shit in my system. You see, these men are taking control of their lives. When the system is trying its possible best to make men weak. Men are beginning to take their happiness into their lives. The system tells you, oh, if you want to be happy, buy as much as possible. But guess what? Men are beginning to say, no, all these items, I mean, they are good, quite all right. But let me buy what I enjoy, not what is advertised to me. I mean, because the culture of flexing is slowly dying. People don't want to see the flashy life anymore. People want to see something that's real. So again, the goal of this video is to make us realize that we need to help more men out there. Let's see how we can get that number to 15%, 20%. And the crazy part is that, you may disagree with me, but people like Andrew Tate, they had a very good role to play in men waking up. People like Andrew Tate, they had a very, very big role to play. The system people try to make men what? Say things like, oh, men, they try to make men adopt the victim mentality. Most men do. Most men think the government will save you, your parents will save you. But the 10% men realize, nah, no matter what, I can't pay anyone to do the push-ups for me. Right? So look at it very well. The system was basically designed and rigged, right, to go after men, to make men weak, because we now live in a gynocentric world. Even though people talk about the patriarchy, right? But we live in a gynocentric world where anything that favors the female should be adopted even for the male. But like I said, men are waking up. Men are waking up. Men are choosing consciousness over coochie, discipline over dopamine, purpose over pleasure, execution over excuses. You see how these things come together? So it starts with you being intentional about your life. The content you consume, the things you consume, the content you consume shapes your mindset. Look at that. So by the way, to be very frank, everything is, like I said, is designed to go after you. But now, if you want to be very, very intentional to live your life, the life that you design, feel free to either reach out to me, can work one-on-one together, or join the free community of serious-minded people who are improving their lives in a masculine way. Saying, you know what, let's fuck the system. Let's come together. Let's build our lives intentionally, right? So my name is Tonoroye. If you like any of the ideas you heard in this video, I'd like you to share this video with a fellow brother who you know feels lost right now, and you know that, okay, you know what? Let's introduce this concept of men winning to him. Right? We'll come together as brotherhood, right? As brothers. Help ourselves grow, right? Help ourselves win. Because one thing for sure I know is that there's basically no other option as a man. You have to win. You cannot really let the system win you, let these feminists win you, because it's all intentional. So thank you very much. Talk to you soon, and bye for now, brother.